I am not dead. I am not great, but I'm not dead. I'm not really super bad right now. Mood-wise, I'm better than I was. I don't even know what day it was. Probably Tuesday night, right? Yeah. What's today? Ah, this is starting to get a headache now. uh, what's today? Technically, it's Friday now. Yeah. Okay. Um. So yeah, Tuesday was the last time I was on. I was in a pissy mood because I had spent 2 hours trying to go through and get tested just to confirm whether or not I have it, and it's going to take a couple more days to get the confirmation. But all of my symptoms were, and mostly are, exactly like they were the last time. And for me, that's a searing chemical burn smell that lasts all day long. Gets worse during certain periods of the day, and then lingers. It's just unpleasant. All through the nose, makes feel like it's gonna just start bleeding at any minute because it's so bad. And then feeling like you took a deep breath on the coldest day of the year and got that sort of cold burn in your lungs. Not my favorite thing, but achy, makes your muscles feel like they're made out of jello. I'm sort of in the phase right now where I can't sit for long because it just hurts, but I can't lay down or I can't stand up for long. There's no position that doesn't hurt within about 10 minutes of doing it. So I'm not doing a long one tonight. It's just one of those things where like my joints and my muscles all just hurt. I did eventually get a bit of a temperature on Tuesday night, I think. I don't have a very dependable thermometer. All the ones that use batteries are dead. We did get one of these things at work. I can see if it works now. It's so stupid that an employer gives these out as if they're a measure of whether or not somebody's sick. It should turn colors, and like the colors it turns, like you can already see one of them's got a little bit of blue to it, and the next one's got like a yellow orangey tone in the center. But you can't get any usable data off of this. First of all, because my body temperature tends to be um, running a little low anyway. So when I went in to get the testing done, they used their forehead thermometer, and it's like, your body temperature is not 95 degrees. We're going to have to do it under the tongue or something like that. Because I always read colder. I always read colder than most people expect. So getting a dependable temperature, hard to do. But I did run a fever on Tuesday night for a little bit of most of the night. And I mean, it's very similar to what it was last time. I would say this time it's the same thing over a shorter period of time. And I think a little more intense. Can we see what it says? No, see, that's why this is not a dependable thing. It's next to useless. I mean, the temperatures it's reading, like the color change is so subtle, it's almost useless. But I think it's saying I'm 96 degrees Fahrenheit, which isn't useful. It was telling me on Tuesday night that I was about 100. So about 4 degrees warmer than I usually run. I'd be 102 to 100, 101, 102 probably for most people. I don't have anything that would give a more accurate reading, because even the ones that I do under my tongue don't ever read right for me. I think I run about a 96.7 or a 97.6. I can't remember which one it is. Like, I never get a right temperature off of those things, so it's really kind of hard to figure out how well I'm doing. But for me, the real indicator of whether or not I'm getting a fever is just that feeling like your skin is just like, after like a sunburn, or if you slap enough, that little burn that sort of sets in, or what we used to call an Indian burn, where you rub friction wise until you got that sort of burning sensation. Get that all over your face. That's how I know I'm running out of temperature. But yeah, the aching muscles is sort of killing me the last day or so. I can't work on anything for long periods of time because I just hurt, and then I have to go lay down to try to recuperate from the ache. And after about 10 minutes of laying down, that just hurts. And so I get up, go cook something or prep something in the kitchen, and like 10 minutes in, I need to sit down on something. It's just like I can't ever be comfortable. And it causes some tenseness in my joints as well. Like, just that constant bracing against the ache causes my muscles to cramp. So yeah, it's very similar to what I had last time, back in April, I think it was. Actually, I think it was more end of March was when it started to kick in. Actually, it's hard to say, because I do remember in March, there was like mid-March, I got sick. And then there was like a week where I was feeling like I was getting better. Then I got sick again. And then I started to sort of rebound from that. And then I got the full-blown like nasal burning and everything else that is what I'm having this time, with dry cough. And that's the other thing. Talking a long time tends to leave me feeling irritated in the chest area. So if I remember correctly, that really started to kick in at the very end of March, and that was when the symptoms were like, oh, this isn't just feeling crummy, tired, or whatever, or the dregs of a cold I had 3 weeks ago. This seems like all the symptoms I need to be watching out for. So I had to quarantine for like 18 days last time. It's weird that they're now saying 10 days. Like, that qualifier has changed any. But yeah, I know a few people who've completely lost taste and smell, and then I know somebody who's still, like, he's gotten over it. He's tested negative at this point. He's recovered, but he's way behind the curve on how much of his taste and smell he's gotten back. So I think it's weird that it presents differently for different people. For me, I don't lose those taste and smell. Mine just hurt the whole time. Like, I could still tell you what I ate. I can tell you the difference in the taste of an apple versus a lemon versus a cucumber. I can tell you the difference in all those tastes just fine. But there's just a constant hum in the background of, for smell specifically, sort of like burning rubber, ammonia, that sort of sting you get after you've lit a match, and you get that kind of sulfurous burn. It's not quite the same as when you use bleach as a cleaner. Like, bleach has a sort of a metallic, hollow smell, where this is more of like if you were to put a cup of vinegar in a pot and set it to boil, and then leaned over and took a big huff of it up through the nose and down through the throat. Just that burn, and that feeling for hours sucks so bad. And I mean, it irritates the breathing so that it reminds me a little bit of, I think at one point I had whooping cough when I was younger. Reminds me a little bit of that. Or, like I said, if you go outside on a super, super cold day and take a deep breath, that sort of like raw burn that the cold air does to your lungs that leaves you coughing sometimes and just leaves that achy soreness from that deep breath. And just do that for like an hour and let it settle out and then come back and settle out. It's not like a steady constant. It's like, oh, it's going away. Oh, no, 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 it's back. So it's not fun. And I know some people say they get headaches. I don't know if I get a headache or not. Like, I feel like I have some neck tension that I'm feeling right now, but not at like I wouldn't say I have like a pounding headache. I don't usually get headaches though. For me, what I consider a headache is that sensation, and I can tell you right where it hits too. If you go right in here, go about 2.5 inches back, straight, kind of like I think probably 2 inches, an inch and a half in from this side here, and 2.5 in from here. Where those two lines meet, if you just took a screwdriver and just rammed it and twisted it, that's what that feels like. That's a headache for me. That's how they almost always hit. I can think of maybe 12 that I've had in my lifetime. I don't get headaches often, but that's a headache for me. I don't know what other people would get as headaches. Like, is what I consider just a neck tension that I'm feeling right now? Is that what other people feel? Like, I can feel it sort of at the base of my head, sort of like I slept on something lumpy, but it's not like a full. There's no pulsing. There's no throbbing. I don't know. I don't know what other people get for symptoms, and I don't know how mine would differ and why. I just know. Oh, I am super tired too. I get super tired real easy right now. I'm sort of hitting the edge of it right now. 12 minutes in. I might aim for 15. This might be pushing it though. But I've been brainstorming some creative stuff in my moving around and trying to get comfortable. It's a little bit harder because I feel a little scatterbrained too. I like it's one of those things like you walk into the kitchen and you don't remember why you went in there. Like that, I can remember 3 times today where I was in the midst of like, oh, I should look up some of this information. Sit down at the keyboard and I can't remember what the frick I was supposed to be looking up. I can't pull it together right now. So it's a little bit of tired brain fog, but overall, it's not the worst virus I've ever had. I've had some super duper bad ones. And actually, one of the headaches I can remember from when I was a teenager was when I had some kind of flu or bug of some kind. Oh, that one floored me so bad. Yeah, it was so bad. I can definitely remember at one point, like I had to go to the bathroom, but the act of putting my feet on the floor next to my bed caused such throbbing. And I tried to stand up and I ended up on my hands and knees crawling. And then just even that, the impact of my knees and my hands shifting was too much. And I felt my skull was splitting. And I just ended up squirming across the floor all the way. I was like, holy crap. Like, I can remember that headache so bad. But, like, you know, that I know I get sick sometimes. That was, I mean, other than the headache, that particular sickness wasn't super bad. I do remember, oh God, my joints are killing me right now. I do remember, I want to say 16, 17 years ago, maybe. It had to be a little bit more than that. It might have been 20 years ago. I was living with my family, and my little niece got a cold or something, and it made her sick. It was like the intestinal bug of some kind, and holy crap, that wrecked us for a couple days actually, where every day or every 15 minutes, like clockwork, you'd just be sprawled out, just feeling miserable the whole time. Every 15 minutes, you'd either throw up. Well, actually, you'd throw up, and then you'd have to run for the bathroom. And we were doing it in shifts because, like, he would go off, my brother-in-law would go off, and then I'd go off. My sister was upstairs, and she'd go off, and my niece was feeling crappy. And it was just every 15 minutes, and like you couldn't eat anything because if you did that, that would set it off early. Took a sip of water, boom, you'd go off. And that's the only reason we didn't go off at the same time as we all were sick, was because we got our schedules screwed up so that we weren't synced up, because somebody would take a sip and it would throw everything off. We eventually, I think a day and a half in, we went to the emergency room to get something. They gave us some meds, and my meds gave me a chemically induced Parkinson's. So that was fun. That was a fun time. I had to be on an antidote for the meds they gave me for like a week. And yeah, when I say chemically induced Parkinson's, like within 2 hours within an hour or so, I would say, of taking it, my head just started ticking off to the side. And you try to write it, and it would keep going off to the side, and then it just started jerking off to the side, and you had to try to push it back, and then it just started getting worse and worse. And by the time they got me back to the emergency room, my whole body was clenching, and I was barely able to pull breath in, and it was just, my back would arch, and it was just excruciating. So yeah, I've been sick a few times in my life, and most of them have been worse than what I'm going through now. But I'm not going to pretend this is any fun. So I am in need of laying down at this point. So I will catch you later. I will be back on Sunday, hopefully feeling sufficiently better that I will be able to communicate something creative. Take care. Stay safe. And have I can't even remember what I'm typing. A good, I can't focus worth a dang right now. All right. I will catch you later. Oh man, I just hurt everywhere right now. I need to lay down.